There is one important lesson I will draw from my 35 years experience in Arab international diplomacy. I would say the following. Dialogue is a must. Dialogue is very important to establish bridges, to get to understand the other, to identify areas of common interest, and where there are problems, and there are usually problems among different states, otherwise diplomats will be on the unemployment. It's how to contain these problems, try to manage them, and find ways after to address them successfully. With the many challenges in the Middle East and the many challenges on the European side and the many common challenges being around this Mediterranean basin, we need to draw on the lessons of the past. We had different architecture of cooperation. One important lesson is that we have no choice but to work together, to reflect on lessons of the past, to draw on lessons of the past, and try to develop a more comprehensive approach to dialogue. One idea that always I hold to is that next to the official formal dialogue, which remains important, we need to have informal dialogue, what I call track 2 dialogue, bringing people of different areas of life, different sectors, in the cultural, in the economic, and the academic, to discuss different areas, to identify areas of interest, areas of common interest which we can build on, and to feed into the formal dialogue. So there is this kind of interrelationship between what I call formal and informal dialogue. One last point on this matter, having been working since the Barcelona process on the Trans-Med relations, and with it on the Euro-Arab dialogue, and later on the Union for the Med, I always argued about the need to have what I call a four-leg table of dialogue, You have the official one, you have the civil society one, you have the economic business one, and you have what I call also the intellectual people, university people who can bring new ideas. All feed into the official dialogue, but this comprehensive, all-inclusive approach is more than necessary, because these other legs, next to the official leg, will bring you the smell of the street and could develop always new ideas that could be put into practice. Across the Mediterranean, I think, I always used to tell my European friends, if you don't help, and I'm sorry, I'm not very diplomatic, and I used to say it when I was an official, it's in your interest to export part of the solution instead of importing most of the problem. So basically, we need to work together. We live in a global village, and our problems do have effects on you, but our success, if you're in good health, it profits to you, and the opposite is equally true. We've had, as I mentioned, different lessons to draw on, so we need to look carefully and proceed in a sort of, I would say, step-by-step approach in this matter. So it's a must that we should start sitting together and reflecting, taking into consideration new developments on the two sides of the Mediterranean, and see how we could really work together, even at different speeds. But the idea is that development, not lopsided development, but a comprehensive development, a multidimensional development, is extremely important for security, which is extremely important for stability, which allows for better development. If I have a message, that's the message I would like to convey. Let me say I'm so happy to be part of the Institute and on this capacity I have today. And as I mentioned before, I do believe in dialogue, and Sweden is very well placed and has great legitimacy and great legacy to be involved really in the forefront in promoting such dialogue and in creating and contributing to an environment for such dialogue. I think one important matter is to conduct multinational dialogue through the Institute, discussing different aspects which are challenges to our region and challenges to our Trans-Med relations, but at the same time also having comprehensive meeting to address all these issues together. So you slice the issues and then you go and discuss them globally together. And the Institute is really again and again very well placed to welcome, encourage, promote, engage, and get involved in such dialogue.